Awesome. How are you guys? So you should be able to see. I think I got the right link just in case. So the link is in the group here. I put it in the chat. You guys should be able to see that. I'll post it in there a couple times as we do this, just so you guys can see what's going on. First of all, can you guys hear me? Just put a 1 in the chat. Make sure you can hear me. Or you know what? Even better than that, tell me where you're at. So I'll start off here. I'm in Miami. See where you guys are. We're going to switch here in a second to my actual screen. So I get some thumbs up. Awesome, awesome. I see Iram sees me. So I'm going to grab my notes from last time. Awesome, fantastic. West Palm Beach. You're right down the road. Right down the road. San Francisco, Virginia. I see you guys. Let's see. I'm grabbing the notes that we had from last time so I can repeat them to you guys. Always important to have a notepad here. Primarily because I'll tell you one thing. The last time I was on here, I learned a lot of stuff from you guys on here, but I got a couple updates, so I want to make sure to show you guys what I've been up to, I want to see what you guys have been up to with your stores. What's up, Chris? Any sales yet, Chris? I actually had my first 2 sales, guys. I had 2 sales, which is pretty awesome. First 2 sales of Neat from India. I sold some coffee, and I sold some gum. It was about $60, $70 worth of gum. What's up, Dennis? How are you? So yeah, sold my first gum. So we're about to get started here in about 9 minutes. I'm just trying to see who is on here, what's going on. Yeah, you should be good. It's Dame 10 orders. All right, Chris, that is badass. $532 in sales. Amazing, Chris. That's very, very exciting. You're not even 3 weeks in yet. You're kicking ass. We're almost about a month in, but I can't imagine what the rest of the Christmas season will hold for you, Chris. Way to take action. So I'll start repeating some of the things that we talked about in the previous one, but for you guys that are here early, let's go ahead and start talking about where to find this stuff, right? So I'll start sharing my screen here in a second and show you guys a couple things. First and foremost, everybody that emailed me should already have figured out like things like how to connect their Amazon. I hope there's nobody else that's left that is having problems with that right now. I think you guys should have figured that part out. So if anything, we're not going to talk about the basics here, although I will show you guys a couple things. For starters, remember, you get 2 emails, one from Arbitrage Suite showing you how to log in, which was down last time I checked because they're doing an update right now. But I believe it's back up and running. So let's double check. I'm checking now. Yeah, so it is back up and running. It was down. Okay. So let's see. Awesome. It's up and running again. So we're back up. So before we start, so we got 7 minutes before we actually jump in there. I'll kind of talk about some of the problems that I've had, and then some of you guys can share some of the problems that you've had. Again, I'm reading the chat here. I'm following along with the chat. Any questions, post in there. It was actually down for more than a day, Chris. Chris posted it was down for a night. Amazon not accepting your Virginia license. Is there a problem with the Virginia sellers? I know there's some states. Can I do it even if I'm not in the U.S.? Yep, you certainly can. The problems that I've seen so far with the U.S. is from other countries. You just have to go through PayPal to pay for things, but Walmart takes PayPal. So the workaround that I've seen is that you need to use PayPal. So yeah, okay, so let's get back to the 2 emails. You get 2 emails when you first start. That's one of the things that I saw most people confused about. So we'll do this as a pre-game before we actually start getting into the more deeper stuff. So obviously I've had 2 sales. So we'll just repeat that. 2 sales totaling $130 or $140. And literally, I've only got 90 products. So that's what I've listed. And as I've gone through the webinars and heard this stuff, I've only had time to list 90 products. I've done that all myself. So what I am doing is I am building out the system already because I kind of already have a grasp for it. So what I'm using to do that is a software called, it's actually a site. It's not open. It's still in beta. It just happens to be one of my friends' sites. It's called mysystem.io. So next week, I'll show you guys my SOPs that are already in there. I've also already hired a manager. So I picked up a manager in the Philippines, and what she's basically doing is she's already collecting resumes. So she just sent over a bunch of resumes to me today. I want to say she's got about 20 or 30 resumes. So we're trying to get everything up and running, and now we're going to start picking up people. So awesome. Any other like basic questions before we jump into it? Before we actually jump into the stuff, like how to do it. Obviously, you guys want to see me do it live, so I've got 2 sales. Does it have more profit margin? It depends. It just depends. Like with private label, it kind of really depends what you sell. But I'll tell you what the big key difference is that this way does not require a lot of money up front. You don't have to put in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 up front to get a private label product and to get it running. You're basically running other people's products. So I'll show you guys one of the products that I actually sold. I don't think I can pull it up anymore. You see it on Walmart. I'll pull it up here in a second so you guys can see. So you're going to be, this is kind of like actually like a funny product to sell. It's so simple. It's kind of almost feels stupid, right? So you'll see here in a second, as soon as I start screen share in 3 minutes. From where I will start if I'm a complete beginner. Well, you'd obviously start by watching what I'm doing here today and then coming up with a plan for what you want to do. It's pretty straightforward. What we're doing here is we are selling other people's products from sites like Walmart. I'll show you the product right here in a second that I had sales on. We're listing them on Amazon, and it's making us money. We're basically drop shipping it. So when I sell it on Amazon, I buy it from Walmart and I ship it out. And the toughest part of the work is what you're going to see me do here today, because it's a pain in the ass to just sit there and like copy and paste links. But there is one really cool feature that they just introduced that's kind of in its beta. That is actually pretty cool. It's called the Explorer. So if you have the VIP option, you'll get to see how the Explorer works. It is pretty cool little function. So I have 2 stores. I have the one store that I'm actually building out, and I'm not going to show people the products in that store, and then the store that I'm working on here during the webinar. So the store that I have 92 products in is the one that's made some sales, but I got a second account because I want to see what happens if I have a brand new account. And I've also got 2 more accounts that I'm creating. So I'm basically going to start like 4 stores and I'll give you guys what happens on them so you know exactly what's going on. So awesome. All right, we're going to start the screen share. We're going to start up the drop shipping stuff. And I'm going to show you guys how as I build out the store live. Questions will come up and we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Give me 1 second to screen share here, and I'll still be seeing comments, so keep them coming. I will be monitoring that and making sure I answer all you guys' questions. And let's see, I'll go to screen share here. Awesome. Okay. So you guys should see my screen now. Everybody see that? Just put, yeah, I could see it. You can see all the crazy boxes. Give me a yes. Awesome. Hide NV. So right now you should be seeing the, here where I'm talking. So you guys got that, right? I don't see anybody that doesn't see that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Awesome. If you are having trouble setting up your store, remember, this is where you go to set up the I get so many questions about MWS. Under software, quick setting up software, it shows how to set up the seller central user permissions. So right here's where you do that. You basically have to go through all this stuff here, the Amazon and the software. Templates, here's what happens if you have like mistakes. Like I'm going to show you guys the mistake I made on one of my sales. So here are the templates if you need them right in here. So the mistake that I made is I actually sold some Folgers coffee, which you can see right here. Now, there's a lot of different flavors of Folgers coffee. So I sold some hazelnut coffee with, it was a 4-pack. And when I first saw it, it looked to me like it was a 4-pack of hazelnut coffee. So I put that on there as a 4-pack of hazelnut coffee. Well, it turns out it was a 4-pack, including hazelnut coffee, including something called chocolate silk, including something called cinnamon, and then including something called vanilla swirl or French vanilla. Well, it turned out that Walmart doesn't stock the chocolate swirl. It looks like it's completely out of stock, like they don't make it anymore. And it also turns out that Walmart does not have the cinnamon swirl. So what I had to do is grab these templates and start emailing. The out of stock template is the one that I'm using right now. Let's see. These are the returns. Let's find the right one. It's probably under miscellaneous templates, out of stock. So this is the one that I'm sending. Right here. It's the one that I'm sending right here. Now, if I don't hear from them, I can also call them or not. I just have to let it be and it's going to hit and it's going to affect my metrics. But that was a mistake on my part. So that's why it's super important that you make sure you understand everything and that you are listing the same thing. So we'll see if we can get into a couple of situations. I saw a really tricky one the other day ago, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about just to make sure that you guys get it. Okay, so that's number one. All the stuff is in there. Here are the weekly webinars. Here is the VA service, which I've been getting some feedback with. People that first bought are finally getting this delivered. And then here's the VIP training if you're part of it. So really quick, what we covered last time before we jump straight in is, remember there's 2 Facebook groups. So 2 Facebook groups if you're part of VIP. So you have access to 2 of them, right? One of them is the arbitrage suite. And this is the only time that I'm not going to cover this every single time, but just now that I'm sharing screen. One is arbitrage suite. And the other one's Arbitrage Suite Accountability Workshop, which I believe is only available to VIPs. But in Arbitrage Suite, you can get a lot of good stuff. One of them being this app called Flush Cash, which one of the members created. And you can use this to flush the cash on your app arbitrage. So I'm going to show you here in a second what I mean by that. This little toilet bowl will basically allow you to flush just the cash. So look for this post by Ray Moore where he shares this stuff right here, the flush cash. So once every hour, you need to flush your cash for app arbitrage, or else at some point it could think that you're abusing the system if you're using too many browsers. So what you do is you just click this little toilet bowl. It opens this up and you search for app.arbitrage, and then you click the delete button, and then you just go back to app arbitrage and you refresh. And it's going to make you log back in because it just specifically will flush the cash for our app arbitrage. So I found that to be super useful. The other thing we talked about last time is you want to shoot for having 5 seller feedbacks. If you don't have any seller feedbacks, do your best to get 5. Whether you need your friends or your family to buy a couple items from you to give you seller feedback, or whether you are using an autoresponder and asking people that buy your products to please leave you seller feedback. It is huge. The more seller feedback you have, the more protected you are if you do get an intellectual property infringement or trademark infringement thing. So it seems to be that when you have 5, which is a magic number, you are somewhat protected. The other thing that I pointed out was that inside of this arbitrage thing, under files, there is a do not list spreadsheet. And this spreadsheet basically tells you all the brands that other people have found to report people. So you can grab it here through this link. For some reason, it didn't pop up for me, but it's right here. You can download it right there. And for some reason, that one's not working. You can get the earlier one, but it is there in the Facebook group in case you need it. And the only other thing that people pointed out is last time there were some more vendors added. So under Arbitrage Suite, you'll notice that there's new vendors that weren't there before. Pay close attention to those. Timothy mentioned that there's about 30 hours of training. And I know that Dax and Bill are always saying if you don't know the answer to something, go watch a training. And sometimes it can be a pain in the ass. So that's kind of why we're having this webinar, because I don't mind answering the same shit over and over again. I'm just fine with answering it. The last thing is, I think that's pretty much it that I wanted to cover before we just get into here and start looking at some stuff and see what we got here. Yes, the question is, do we have to have money to buy these items up front? Yes, you do. You've got to first be able to buy the item, and then Amazon pays you for it after you say that it's shipped. They'll put it into your account. So you do have to have the money. You got to have some money saved up. All right, so let's jump into here. The other thing I want to remind you guys is, while even if you have the VIP version, and I know they promised that everything's done automatically, you want to constantly be monitoring this thing, because one thing I found is, and I don't know if it's because I had my password in wrong on Walmart. I think that was it. But the software never auto-ordered for me. So I had to go in there and manually order it. So pay close attention and manage everything, because that's probably the most surefire way I'd see somebody could get banned or something, because of the fact that they think that everything's being done for them, and guess what? It's not. So you want to stay on top of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop in. Weekly webinars, if you have them, are here. They usually announce them. Let's talk about the sexiest new feature that they just added in this recent update. So let's first start there. If you've got the VIP version, now don't worry if you don't, you can still list stuff. At some point, you probably get this. There's a brand new feature that's been upgraded called this Explore feature. So if we click into the Explorer, here's what happens. So who actually has, now if you don't have this, obviously, I'm just going to show this real briefly for the people that do. And if not, we're going to do this the old-fashioned way here in a second. But if you have the Explore option, here's what the really cool thing is. Now, again, not all the vendors are supported yet. It's promised that at some point in the future they will be, but for now, they are not. So the vendor that I like to use best is obviously the vendor that is the king right now, which is Walmart. So if I click into your Walmart, what happens is it basically lays out all the subcategories available on Walmart. You can see like pretty much everything is here. And again, since it is so new, a lot of these categories you cannot click on through. So we'll just jump into here, sports and outdoors. And in fact, we'll just jump into there and we'll start seeing what pops up. So here's the important part with the Explorer. There is a score that they're trying to figure out, that it's still this is still kind of beta, but there is a sweet spot with this score. And it's from what I've heard being on the webinars, a sweet spot is about 0.96 on up. There starts to become a point where you can get the top 4 spots when it's that high. Now, when it's usually like 2.0 or above, it means that it's out of stock and you'd be the only person listing it. So let's go ahead and start having a look on these. And let's just open up all the ones that we see that are ones out of the gate and see what happens, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through here, and I'm going to only look at ones that are like 0.96 or higher. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one. And I'll pop over onto them in a second. I'm going to open this 1.62. Here's 0.96. I'll pop that open. So I'm going to pop all these open and then start looking at them in a second. Okay, so I've got quite a few open. So now basically what this does is it already auto-populates the URL, and I'll hit next, and it's a bike. So the bike pops up. I'm going to go ahead and hit 1 because obviously bikes aren't going to sell in multi-packs. I've seen multi-packs pretty common in like grocery and kitchen and other things like that, but this is a bike. No person in their right mind is going to buy this as a 2-pack, right? So this is a men. The first place that I like to look is obviously right here. It says that there's multiple ASINs, so I'll be aware of that because that could potentially mean that this is either the wrong listing or I can find one that has a better BSR amongst these because there's a couple of them. There's 3. So I like to scroll through here, see if things match. It says Genesis 1X Cruiser men's bike, black. This looks black. I can't tell. It looks pretty black to me. I'll also notice that the model numbers actually match, which isn't usually the case. And so it looks like I would potentially be able to fall somewhere in here. But let's go ahead and now verify these on Amazon. And then I'll go ahead and open it up on Walmart just to make sure that they match. So the first thing that I like to do is once this pops up, I like to click on restricted to find out right away whether or not this can be sold. In fact, this is the very process that I'm actually teaching my VAs as we speak. So it looks like we can, right? Because it allows me to put a price. There's nothing here that says I'm not allowed to sell this. So that looks good. It looks to be just a black bike. And if we open it up on Walmart, it's a 29-inch bike. We'll scroll down, and once again, it looks like it matches. And the other thing is it is sold and shipped by Walmart, which is what we want. So everything seems to match. So what I'm going to do next is hit the next button and see what kind of profit we could actually make on this thing. And it seems like we can't, nowhere in the top spots. I can even lower this to 1, nothing. I know the guys in my office have this at 0.5 and nothing, right? Okay. So now we can still go back and see, are any of these other ones, I didn't even check the BSR on this. It says 46 in sports and outdoors, but that seems to be a subcategory. Let's just, out of curiosity, check out what the BSR here is. 299. That's still pretty high. But let's just see if by any chance some of these other ones will work. So let's look at this one. This looks like it matches. And let's, out of curiosity, check what the BSR is. Usually this is in the subcategory. It would be nice if we could potentially get that fixed to show in the not subcategory, right? The main category, which in this case is sports and outdoors. Now, this is not necessarily like, it's not 471 in sports and outdoors. It's a subcategory. But I'll show you guys a quick, let's see if this will work for this product. Let's see. It's 471 in cruiser bikes. So it's kind of like still very low. Let's see if the other one is any better. Now, this one, we would have to check to see that it matches. It seems like it will. Seems like it does match. Now let's see what's going on with this one. This one's still no profit. So I'm just going to skip onto this one and go next. And basically that's the process that we go through all of them. So let's see what happens on this next one. We've got cones. I'll tell you personally, guys, I don't know about how you feel about these, but I hate these color ones. I think they suck. I'm glad I'm not a VA having to do this, but obviously I got to start somewhere, right? So I picked this cone. This cone here says blue. I don't think this is blue. Let's go back and see if there's actually a blue cone. There is a blue cone, but there's no shipping. So we are looking at a green cone here. So we'll go over this and we'll see if anybody has any questions. So here's a green one, but it doesn't look like the same cone, right? So I want to open it up here, and I want to open it up on Walmart and see if it at all is the same cone. And the picture, to begin with, the picture makes it very confusing because it's all the cones, but they have a rounded edge at the top. These are rounded also. So they did say green cone, even though this is a completely different thing. Now let's check the brand. It says BSN. And I don't see any brand on here. So I'm just curious, out of you guys out there, who would actually list this product? I don't think I would list it because there's no brand. They are both rounded, but I don't know. I just think I wouldn't. Who out of here that's been doing this would actually list this product? I'm just curious. Give me some yeses. Give me some nos. I think everybody's like pretty confused. Let's skip it. Just say yes on the cone, no on the cone. As we go along, we'll list some more here. I'm going to X that cone out of there. I'm not liking it. Okay, so we got this dodgeball. So I'm going to put 1 and hit next. And again, all these, remember, I got them through the Explore tool. 6-inch gator skin dodgeball look exactly the same. Looks like we could make money. 693,000 in toys and games, which kind of is bad. But when you first start and you don't have anything, it's a lot better than nothing. So this looks to be fine. Let's see if we can actually list this. So this is usually my first check. I check the restricted. Looks good. I can list it. Is it a 6-inch gator skin dodgeball? Yes, in black. It's sold and shipped by Walmart. Perfect. So it looks like we got a match. So now comes the part where we see, is it profitable? Let's hit next. And guess what? It is. At 2 will be listed right there, position 4. So I would go ahead and list this. My estimated ROI is 4%. Remember, that's with the 10% tax, which is not the case in Florida. It's 7. So that's a 3 extra percent of ROI. That's 6.98%. Not including also top cash back, which I haven't checked to see what's the special on top cash back right now. And also not including my points on my Amex. So if we search here, Walmart. See the Walmart. This is sports and outdoors, 5%. So on top of what this actually says here, which is 3.98, we're going to get 3 extra percent there. That's 6.98. 5 on top cashback, that's 11.98, and like 2 on MX. That's 14% ROI, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and list this. So I'm going to hit finish. So there's one. There's one product. And I know I'm going slow, but I'm making sure everybody gets this. Here's another gator skin. This is a softy gator skin ball. We already know we can list gator skin, so I'm not going to go through that particular check. So let's take a look at which ones these are, right? Softy ball red. It says right here on Amazon. And now let's take a look at what it says on. This one says red. So let's make sure on Walmart we've got red. Yes, so these are both red. And let's make sure we had just one red that we could choose from, okay? So perfect, they're both red. And so pretty much all I'm gonna do is hit next. And I would be the only one listing this. Let's double check if I'm the only one. It looks like there are some people. Deal store, Tempest, and Adventure Bag. Okay. So if we actually raise this to 3, we'd still be in first place. So 3 gets us to 4% ROI. It's about the same thing. So oops, I'm going to go ahead and enable this. This has to be enabled in order for it to list. So I'm just going to go ahead and click and list it through. So that's 2 that I found through that. Now here's the next one. This is a yellow ball. So it seems to be a bunch of these gator skin balls. Yellow. Let's verify what color it is on Walmart. Yellow. Shipped by Walmart. And now I'm just going to hit next. And we're good with this. And so we're listed on those. And, you know, we could list at the 2. That way the repricer, which is supposed to actually come into play. Softy ball set of 6. Now, here's an interesting thing. We're going to open this up because I see that right there it says S&S. And then I see right here on Walmart, this is gator skin. See what it shows on Amazon. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. I'm going to still scan this because now it's showing S&S, and it looks like we're good to still list. So this is a set of 6. This is a set of 6. Let's go back here, and let's see what happens if we hit next. And again, we would be good right here. So I'm going to go ahead and list this. Remember, we're getting 5 extra %. I'm going to finish out here and close this up and go to the next one. Now this is a power generator. I'm just going to go ahead and hit 1 there. And AI power 5,000 watt generator. Looks like the same model number. So now I'm going to open this up in Amazon and in Walmart. And you guys should know the drill by now. We're going to check the restricted. This is exactly how I would train my VAs. We can list this. Matches here. And sold and shipped by Walmart. So it looks like we can definitely list that. And it looks like we would not make any money at all. We could be in spot number 6, but we don't want spot 6. We want much less than that. We want up to the top 4. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Ace compression cup. This is in small and medium. So we're just going to go ahead and next. Now, if you guys notice, I'm just going with whatever pops up, right? But you can also decide what sort of money you want to make on these. So you could very well decide, well, I only want to go with ones that are at like 30 bucks or whatever. But this is a brand new account. So I really want to be able to make money no matter how I do it in order to get those seller feedbacks. So it looks like we can list Ace. So we've got this small, medium cup. And we've got right here, small, medium cup, 1 pack. Let's double check and make sure the Amazon one was 1 pack, which I think it was. Yeah. Okay. So then we're just going to go ahead. It looks like we can make money. It's $10.62 at Walmart. Let's see if there's anything at all. And it looks like we would get right at number 4. So yeah, we're good with this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit finish here. And there it is. It's added. And remember, on this one, we can go back and pick the other product. So we can actually pick the large here. We'll put 0 here, and we'll put 1 here. And now we're looking for the small, teen, large, extra large. So teen, small, medium. Let's double check and make sure they had that right. So it is 1 for teen, small, medium, black. Large, extra large. So we'll double check this here. So now let's go ahead and go into this one and this one. And now we already checked Ace in general. So this is teen, large, extra large. And on Walmart, it's teen, large, extra large. All right, so it looks good. We go to here. This one might be more difficult. Notice it's $14.95. So yeah, Doesn't look like we'll fit in the top 4, so we'll skip that one. Any questions to this point so far? Awesome. Yeah, you guys would not list those either. Probably in the description on Walmart. What's up, Tommy? Good to see you. As a general rule, do I stay under 500,000? Right now, I don't, because I don't have it. I have 90 some listings. So for me, it's about getting as much as possible on there. Now, in the future, I might, whatever it hasn't sold in those first 3 months, then I'll start to remove. But right now, it's really like something could not have sold because either the price is too high or it was out of stock. So if I see something even $1 million, there's a chance that you can get a sale. If you just come across it, you've got, especially if you signed up for VIP right now, even if you signed up for the 1,000 listings plan right now for the 197, it's really a game of numbers. The graph under the product item in Amazon. Chris, if you could show me what, let me see, the graph. Are you talking about Keepa? So Big Daddy brings a good point here. It says the score right now, which we're talking about the Explorer score here, is just the cost of goods divided by the lowest price it finds. Scores under 0.95 are likely wholesale or Amazon selling. Scores above are likely other dropship sellers. So that is an awesome tip. Big Daddy Josh. Badass tip, Big Daddy Josh. Even that's such a good tip. We even got Josh in the house, who's actually on my team, would be jealous of the tip you just shared, Big Daddy Josh. That is an awesome tip. And going back to Josh in the office, let me see what he's in sales. He was at 2,500 the other day ago. Let me double check and give you guys an update on what he is in sales. So this stuff really works. Let me get an update. Let's see what he's up now. Do I go for 0% profit? I haven't started doing that yet, Chris. I don't know. Yeah, Big Daddy Josh says, I've just gone for like 1 or 2, and I'm like pretty good with 1 or 2. I mean, the other ones you could, but, and I suppose you could, but I just look for 1 or 2. Big Daddy Josh says multi-pack listings can be sneaky. I agree. They are very tricky. You got to be careful. Like I said, I just got bit on one. Do I list products with no BSR rating? You could, Terry. Like I said, it's really a game of numbers. The very reason that something might not have sold is just because there's no sellers available. Now, if it's got like 5 or 6 sellers and it's at 1 million or 2 million, then there's chances are that it just sucks. Will this track the price in stock of source store? If yes, how you become? Yes, it does track the out of stock and does track the store. Yes, there will be a replay, Momo. How much should you be making from 1,000 listings? Well, I can tell you that I believe Josh, who's in our office, has 1,000 listings, and I think he's at, I want to say it's $30-some hundred so far. So that's just in like his first few weeks. So yeah, Daniel also, I saw Daniel on here. His wife and him are at 3,500 in sales so far, and he's got. I think you said you had, how many listings did you have, Daniel? I don't think you told me. I think you have under 1,000, I think you said. So I think Daniel has under 1,000. Awesome. So he'll put something here. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Again, Big Daddy Josh gave us some really cool information on that. I had no idea that's what it was. All right, so here we go. Like a bandage again. Some kind of Ace bandage. Doesn't show that there's any sizing on here. So everything looks fine, but let's give it the real test. Let's see what they look like. They look to match identically. We know that Ace allowed us to sell, right? We could always just double check it. I kind of sort of want to show you guys what something looks like that you can't source, just in case. Looks to be the same thing. It doesn't look like there's any sizes on here. $9.97. What I usually also do is look here before I go forward, like $9.97 and $19.98. Possibility that there could be some profit. So here's what Chris talked about. Do you ever try 0 here? You can. This one would allow me to list right here. let's just go for it in honor of Chris being on and saying he does this sometimes. Let's go and do it. He's got more sales than I do. So maybe I discovered that what Chris said here works out. So this one says no shipping, so we just skip it. And then now this one is Vantage 3-inch beige, 3-inch beige, no shipping at 4-inch. But we're going to go and take a look at the 3-inch. This is the part, and I know Big Daddy Josh agreed with me, but this is the part that I hate when there's lots of variations. I think it sucks. It's kind of like, sometimes I even feel like passing on it altogether. 3-inch beige. Let's open them up and take a look. And again, I guess the good thing that you have to realize, guys, is at the end of the day, the goal is let's get an actual VA to do this, and I don't have to do it. Like, this can be sold. I think I've done this a total of maybe 6 hours or so, like altogether. So it looks like from the prices, we could also sell this. So let's click next. Everything matched. This is a 1-pack. Three-inch. Looks like just one single bandage on here also. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is at 2. Here's at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 on this one. So I'm going to actually test Chris's theory here. I'm going to go with this one at 1. And I'm going to be more aggressive on one account than the other account. We'll see how they both end up. All right, so let's take a look at this last one. A tarp. Let's hit 1 here. Go next. And the big thing that I'm looking here, I'm going to open them both up. They look to be the same models, is the brand. So Walmart has no brand on there, but Amazon has Ozark Trail. Ozark Trail 10 by 20. And this is Ozark Trail 10 by 20. So they look to be the same thing. Shipped and sold by Walmart. Could be marginal here. Yep, looks like it's good. So we'll just go ahead and finish out right there. And this one right here, we'd be getting 15% ROI. So let's finish. And awesome. So that's kind of how you do with the Explore method. As for those of you guys that weren't paying attention, Big Daddy Josh, awesome tip. I might just having to give prizes out to the people that actually give good tips here. I think that might be a super idea. That was a badass fact or piece of data, particularly for the people that if you got that from the actual weekly webinars, I did not get a chance to attend those. So that is awesome. Let's see what other questions we have. Daniel has 480 listings. Badass, Daniel. Profit margins, yeah, that's about right. So Josh and Angelo in the office have done about $4,000 from about 1,000 listings, I want to say. They might even have more now. I think they've already ramped it up. I think I was telling this to Daniel Sosa. I think they've got 13 VAs. Here's Pedro says in 2 weeks he made 200. This literally does work. And he was working as 8 hours in his job and doing 1 hour work, and it's working for him. Thank you, Liz. He says, you are very welcome, Pedro. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. That makes me very proud right there to see things like that. So I'm taking screenshots from a bunch of you guys because, you know, there's going to be a lot of haters. Like, you'd be surprised. The guys that are on here that are actually making money already, this thing works. But actually, from when we did this promotion, there was a lot of people that basically quit already. Like I said on that webinar, if you guys cannot make this work, I think you're in the wrong industry. I think this is the easiest way that I've ever been able to see people actually able to make money. Like, it literally is just copy and paste. Like, if you can copy and if you can paste and if you just take the time and not be lazy, this can happen. Question here, if you see external seller, does that mean I can still list it? I've never seen external seller, Bella. I'd be interested if you actually send me a screenshot of that. I've seen available from other sellers that you can still list. Okay, so yeah, that pertains to Walmart. So Terry answered you exactly right. What Terry said is correct. Do you do eBay dropshipping? I have not tried eBay. I've only sold on Walmart, but I know that the guys in the office have done a couple other sites. People should be careful when shipping droid helicopters and read the Walmart description, and it will state that the item cannot be returned by mail. Okay, great tip. Natalie says that brand Genesis is any problem being kicked out for inauthentic item. Genesis, I would check, Natalia. We talked about earlier in the Facebook group, there's a list. Let's see if I can download it now. So if I go to the arbitrage suite, inside this group under the files, there is a do not list. I just couldn't download it earlier for some reason. And there was a message by Dax, so we should probably take a look. I'm going to go to look at the one from September. Nope, I can't get that for some reason. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. If anybody's able to list that, let me know. So awesome. ArbitrageSuite.com is live again 39 minutes ago. Just to let you guys know, I know some people still didn't have access. Let me try this one other way. Okay, here we go. So if we open up this do not list, you'll notice that there is over 596 brands. So let's go ahead and look up Genesis. Nobody has reported a Genesis at all. So again, get that list. If you don't have it, you can take a look there. Thank you, Jim. I see Jim's on here. Let's see. What's the difference between the 197 and the 3K version? Well, for one, the 3K version does everything for you. So it orders for you. It sends out tracking information for you. It does all that stuff. The 197, you have to manually do that. However, it can be done. I've still had to do that because I had my wrong Walmart password in there. And then the other thing is you don't have the Explore feature available yet. Right, Pedro? Pedro says it's so true. This is so easy. Imagine when Christmas comes around. Big Daddy Josh says it's easy and low risk. Takes time to scale, though. Hence V's. Correct, Josh. I agree with you. Tommy says if you're going to list from Walmart, use a filter, ship and sold by Walmart to prevent looking. That's a fantastic tip, Tommy. That is a badass tip. So we've had two really good. Let's go there and show everybody where that's at. I didn't even know that one. So let's take a look and let's start going into Walmart now. So we got Arbitrage Suite opened up here. I think we listed this. Did it just in case again. And so now let's just go into Walmart. So how do we find products if we don't have the Explorer, right? Well, it's simple. We jump into here and we start looking at categories. So just for fun, let's go to pets. And I've got a cat, so let's go into cat supplies. And let's just go into cat litter boxes for fun. All right, and I'll start just opening up a bunch of these. So I'm going to just command open them. And this one might be a bunch of a pain in the ass because of the fact that there's lots of different colors. So we'll see here in a second. So right here, I believe is where Tommy is saying that there is shipped and sold from Walmart, I'd imagine. Let's take a look. It's got to be around here, but that was actually a fantastic tip. I didn't even know that was available. So we'll wait for Tommy to clarify, but here we go. Walmart.com. Now I can actually, or I should actually delete all these other cat boxes that I found here and look for only, now that I've got Walmart.com here. So now I can open these, and a bunch of these are very cheap. So let's just, I'm just going to open up some more expensive ones. I want cat pooping kingdoms. I don't want cheap cat boxes. I want cat pooping kingdoms, right? I want places where cats would be proud to take a shit in. Cat kingdoms, right? So awesome. All right, let's jump in here. This one we'll skip. It's $7. That one we definitely don't want to sell it for. So let's go to some of these larger ones. All right. Ships and sold by Walmart, just like Tommy said. Let's grab this link. Let's jump into Arbitrage Suite. Let's go to select a product URL, enter it, and then see what happens. Awesome. So we got one. And there's several choices here. So it's Rolling Clean Self-Cleaning Cat Litter Box. We don't know if the model matches, but price looks like it could potentially work. So let's open up these both and see what we're dealing with. First of all, same thing as before. We got to check, can we sell this? Turns out we can. All right, so let's see, anything unique about this thing? Just a litter box, right? Looks like the same exact thing. So let's go ahead and double check. Let's get rid of this. We kind of already went over that. Let's hit next. Not too good there, right? But let's see what happens if we bring it to 1. Let's see if we bring it to 0. Like Chris said, it's a little high. But let's go ahead and see. I saw that there was multiple ASINs. And this is the one where I was telling you guys, and we confirmed with Big Daddy Josh, we both hate this shit, right? We both hate all of these different versions. Like this right here, I can't tell if it's just because of the lighting, but it looks like it's a different color on top. And basically what I've been telling myself is when in doubt, I just skip it. So that could just be me. That could just be the lazy way, but I seem to feel like I would prefer to skip it than list it and list the wrong thing. If anybody has any tips for that, let me know. I'd be interested in finding out what your tip is. Okay, so the next one up is this Arm & Hammer one. So it looks like it's the same thing, same model. The problem is right here, if you look at the price already, they're like about the same as Amazon and this guy. And so there really wouldn't be any profit. So for me to even check is probably defeating the purpose, as you can see right here. So that's kind of how my preliminary check to skip something happens. I'm going to move this all the way at the end here. And I'm going to skip that one. Let's check out this one here. And let's go next. So again, here's one of those where it's like, does this look like the same box? You know, this looks like gold. This looks like, says it's the same number. It could just be a lighting thing. Again, we're dealing with somewhere with price. So let me just see what happens if I just quickly check. Yeah, we're nowhere near the front. Let's see if there was any variance. 1. So this is another listing. Let's see how this one would actually come out. I think this one would come out better. This 0 would get me right there, which would give me some ROI still. So we're going to be aggressive on this one that Chris showed. Chris showed that he did this method. It looks like this one is fine. Let's double check and see if we can list it. Van Ness. Is it restricted? It is not. Okay, so this is like a gold box. Looks like it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and list it at that price and see what happens. I'm going to be a bit more aggressive on this one. All right, here is another one. And we'll finish going through these boxes and then we'll see if there's any questions. $52.99. Model looks a little different. This one looks longer, so let's double check that because the models do not match. I think the one that we're dealing with is this single one. So assembled is 21 by 23. Let's take a look at this one. The other one just looked too big. So I'm going to grab the ASIN for this. And I'm going to first check restricted, obviously. And you can list this. So that was extra large. And there could have been a couple different, yeah, now this is a different brand. I believe the brand here is Trixie's. So this is another Trixie. We saw that one. And this does not look like Trixie. Let's add an ASIN here. And it keeps going to this, okay, here we go. So this is it. And unfortunately, Amazon is selling. Let's see what would happen if we finished in at the 2 or 3 spot. So this is, nope, so this one's out of the question. No Trixie. All right, let's take a look at this next one. This is Buddha Cat. And here are my favorite ones. So we've got a white one, a pearl, and a titanium. Okay, so this is white. Same thing, white. 2 different models. So again, we're going to open them both up. And this definitely looks like a white one. Obviously scan for restricted. Looks like we're good there. And if we take a look at a Walmart, everything looks pretty good. Ships and sold by Walmart. Looks good. Again, Amazon lists this, but can we get that second spot in the event that Amazon runs out? Yes, we can. So I'm going to finish listing that out, and I'm going to go back and look at the other color, which is titanium. Okay, so this is titanium. Let's verify that they're both titanium. This is titanium on Amazon. And the thing that I notice here that's kind of interesting is it's not picking it for me, which could be a sign, let's see, that it could mess up. But now I selected titanium, so it should definitely pick titanium. Again, Amazon has it. Let's see what would happen on the rest of this. Okay, so we would still finish pretty good here. Remember, we could still lower this if we want, but it seems like 2 is the magic number. We'll go ahead and list that. And those were the 2 that were listed on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this one here. Okay, so we're going to go with one of that. This is the taupe color. It says the same model. So a lot of times when you see, so far, if you've seen the lighting on these, the lighting kind of sucks, right? So taupe, warm gray. I don't know. Is taupe warm gray? Anybody a color expert? Grayish brown. Grayish brown. There's a 1-pack and there's a 2-pack of this one. It's kind of interesting. So I'm curious, who would actually sell this? Taupe equals brown, not gray. So we got lots of tips here. Let's see what people are putting. Lots of tips. Thank you, Golden Boy. Why can't you sell from third-party sellers? Because, Mark, it's like if they fuck up on the shipment, you're going to be the one penalized, not them. So you can rely on Walmart to ship when they say they're going to ship, but a third party you cannot rely on. Awesome, Fatima. Good for you. Way to stick with it. Honestly, the stuff that you've been through, it just shows that if you got through that, this is going to be cake, you copying and pasting links. They're an option to duplicate stores. Serialization, yes, you can hear right here, once they populate, it takes a while. You can download the CSV and it makes a CSV of all your actual products. And then you could upload that same CSV. So I would make it an effort to, like, every day, one of your routines, get your manager to download that CSV and keep it somewhere. Just as a precautionary method. Sometimes it is the lighting. Yep, check pics. What's the criteria to get approved for payability? I don't really know. I haven't tried that. What if you don't get approved for store credit cards? You don't need to be approved for store credit cards. You can have one major credit card and do all your buying on there. Listing tips. So Tommy, awesome. Tommy always gives some good tips. So listen up, guys. This may be helpful to some, but you can go back and look at the best sellers from last year in these months and find them to list today. Awesome tip, Tommy. Very awesome tip. Chris sold an item at $220 with the item lister set to 0% profit margin, and his profit was $27 with the number one in the buy box and a BSR of 198,000 in sports and outdoors, which is very high. So, yeah, like I said, it really doesn't matter what the BSR is. Big Daddy Josh, I'd probably list it anyways. Unlikely that people are picky about the box that their cat shits in. Great. Big Daddy, I like that tip right there. I really don't care what color box my cat shits in. All I care is that she's taking a shit in the box. That's all I care about. That's an A+. Terry says, I usually like to check the profitability of a product first before going through all the due diligence with the products. Very good tip, Terry. You saw me do that at one point, but basically what Terry is saying is, let's go ahead and grab one of these. This is the one we were looking at right now. Let's grab another one. Basically what he's saying is that when you copy and paste this link in here, this one just happens to have no shipping. Skip it. Let's go to take a look at this one. Okay, so this one right here, I can click on one. And what he's saying that he looks at is right away. It's 16 at Walmart, right? So 16 plus 6 is about 22. Can we make money if it was 28? Yes, we can. We'll see if we can make enough. So we're 7th at 1. So only 7th. So he basically takes a look at that first. That way he doesn't have to go through the whole spiel of checking to see if it's restricted, checking to see where it falls in place, and checking to see if pictures match. He checks that first. So you can kind of almost figure it out in your head if it'll work or not, and then go through it. Or you can just do the step that I just did and then go back. Now you already know this works. Now you can check everything, which is actually a really good tip, Terry. I'm telling you guys, I'm going to have to rewatch some of the replays myself. You guys are dropping just like gold. Like, I feel like I should be paying you guys because I'm learning here while I'm on the webinar with you guys. Don't you have to be selling about 2,000 a month consistently? 2,000 a month consistently for what, Mark? Wow is a lot, so better to check that file every time we list it, right? Yeah. I mean, you talking about the file that I said to download? So Terry, did I cover what you meant by hitting the next button? We're going to X that out. I think this ISIS, for payability. Oh, that's probably the case, Mark. I have not looked. Let's do a couple more, and then I'll take a couple more questions, and then we'll call it a day. Again, next time around, what I'll do is I'll get my system IO fired up and show you guys the process. I actually went the route. Let me kind of explain the route that I went with here. I went the route a little bit opposite of what the guys in my office actually hired VAs first. I hired a manager. So I hired a VA manager, and she was she's very good. She's approximately between 400 and 500 a month. And what she already went and did is she's actually handling the hiring process for me. So right here, what Terry said, 72.34, we're not going to make much money when Amazon's selling right there. So let's just take a look here. And yeah, we're way off in 9th. So we wouldn't even bother messing with this. Right? This one would be like, no, thank you. Let's take a look at this. Oh, this is all of them in general. So I think we finished all that whole list. Okay, so yeah, Terry goes to that. That's a very good process, Terry. I think I'm going to redo some of my SOPs today thanks to that process. Awesome. Thank you, Chris, for the webinar. I will see you. Thank you for showing up, Chris, and giving lots of great tips. Very valuable. It's super valuable to have guys like you here as part of the community. I mean, this is just like a last-minute event. I'm going to start to do these every Monday. So what is today, Monday? Yeah, every Monday. So every Monday you can count that I'll be here. Yep, exactly, Big Daddy. So I basically hired my VA. So I'll explain this. I hired my manager, and she is freaking awesome. Like, she set up the SOP area. We have an area where she's doing she's making a quiz to make sure all the listers kind of understand the criteria. She is like, I haven't had to do anything other than give her the initial SOP. So I put them in. You'll see them next week. I'll have them all ready so you guys can take a look. I put them all in mysystem.io, loaded them up in there. She takes care of all the training. I hired a girl that knew Amazon, and I found somebody that was actually even familiar with Arbitrage Suite and Ecom Solutions and all the people that have drop shipping software. She knows all of it. So I hired her, and she's just been like a champ. Can you list product from you, meaning buy from the store list? Can you list product from you? I'm not understanding what you mean. Buy from a store list. Don't understand what you mean, Fatima. If you can explain. What should we expect to pay a manager for salary with similar experience? I'm paying her $500 a month. And so she's handled everything. Like, I obviously had to get the SOPs over to her so she could understand the process. But I found her on onlinejobs.ph. So next week, if you guys want, I can share with you also the If that's something that interests you guys, I could share with you what I put on Online Jobs PH to find my manager, and then I could show you what we've got a bunch of actual resumes. So next week I'll show you guys the resumes from people that we got. We got like over 30 resumes, and right now we're looking to hire 5 so that my manager starts to train them, and depending on how those 5 go, we'll go to the next sets of them, and then basically take it from there. But if you guys are actually interested in that stuff, let me know. Send some feedback. When I email you guys out, respond and tell me what you'd like to see me do. Because obviously I'm not going to be doing the listing that much longer. Today will be the second day, like tonight, the second day my manager works to get this stuff together. So more than likely tonight, based off of that tip that Terry gave that we're doing, I'm going to rebuild some of those SOPs. Because I think the pricing is going to speed up the amount of actual listings someone has. Onlinejobs.ph, Terry. So this site here. Next week, I'll share with you guys the ad that I used to find my manager. For some reason, onlinejobs.ph is not working. But anyways, this is the site that I used to find her. And she's pretty awesome. I just put up an ad there. She sent over her resume. I looked at it. I noticed I got 2 actual people that had qualifications. Yes, I am training my own VAs, Terry. Why? Because my thought is I'm going to hire a manager. I'll put the listing out there. She can help me train them, find them, everything. If she becomes that familiar with the process, I could have her for 2 months and only pay $1,000, and she could train everyone. Like, I could invest a lot in my manager. She could help. She's helping me sort the SOPs. She's helping me put them together. She's making the quiz for the VAs. She's in charge of Hub staff. She's doing the Hub staff. She's sharing them the Google shared docs, all that stuff. So we're using Google Docs, Hub staff, Slack for communications, mysystem.io to have the SOPs, and Google. Oh, I already said Google Sheets. I'm thinking. We got Arbitrage Suite, obviously. All that stuff to like manage, and then certain like Flush Cache and stuff like that to like tools and software that they need. So yeah, I'm basically saving like $250 a person. That's a month's salary. I also did pay a little more for my VAs than what they recommended in Arbitrage Suite, and that's primarily because I'm specifically looking for VAs that only have experience with Amazon. So awesome. Any other questions that we have? And next week, if you guys are interested in me sharing that stuff, respond to my email and say, Liz, I saw your video, your Arbitrage Suite build out, and I want to know more stuff about the processes. How much time would you estimate it took to create SOPs and all material? I want to say that it took the weekend, Jeremiah. So basically, it took me maybe 12 to 14 hours to do it and to like organize it and think about it and set up things and get the manager and stuff. And that's pretty much it. So it took me like 15 hours, 14 hours to do that, and about 2 weeks of an hour to 30 minutes to an hour a day, like messing around and listening to some of the training. So maybe like 30 hours altogether, but that includes watching training to really get everything down and move it over. But like as I said, I'm constantly learning. Terry just gave me an epic tip, so now I'm going to go change some of my SOPs based on that tip, and it's going to speed up the process. So it maybe took me 3 weeks of part-time work to put everything together, and now it's just going to be like full throttle because it seems like I did a lot, but it really wasn't that much to create a passive earning passive income earning business, and especially coming into Christmas, it's just kind of exciting. My other shortcut for listing is to first look at the listing on arbitrage to see if there's any BSR. If questionable, I will check first because I don't want to list anything above 500. But it's a great tip, Terry. So good one. I'm just listing everything I can right now. so that is a great tip if you want to be picky, which is awesome, particularly if you have like 1,000 listings or less. So that is fantastic tip. If you guys aren't writing down Terry's tips, you should be. If I'm buying from another store, can I just list through the software? Yeah. If you're buying that's what the whole software's purpose is what I'm understanding. That's not bad in time to create and set up, right, Jeremiah? So I've got the complete system already set up and created. Now, that's the actual first part of the back end. So there is going to be some management. So I've already talked to a guy that's going to manage my people in the USA, and he's a master at Seller Central. So what still is part of the process that I don't know how deep Bill goes into the details, but watching your metrics. So I'll have to write up some SOPs on that. Also, what happens in instances where we're out of stock or things get canceled or something? That's another thing. Let me see what happened here with the. Okay, so I think I'm back live. Awesome. So stop sharing. Okay, so does everybody you should be able to see. Yeah, there I am. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, Tommy answered Fatima. You can list vendors located in the software. Terry says, I'm not sure that's a good approach, but I'm thinking that I have to pay monthly for my listings, so I want to list products that have better. Yeah, I think what you're dealing with, Terry, because I think you're at the 1,000 plan. So I think what you're doing is perfect. Good job. I think that's a good way to adjust. I'm more thinking along the lines like I've got unlimited listings until 3 months. So what my approach is, I'm going to list every freaking thing that comes my way. That's going to go in there. And then what happens is that right at the 3-month mark, if something hasn't sold and it has like a really high BSR, I'm going to just dump it. And then I'll be at the amount of listings that I truly have. So like then I'll have a metric like yours to base everything upon, and then I'll just ditch a bunch of listings. Tommy says, if the retailer goes out of stock, just send the buyer a message for them to cancel the order so it doesn't affect your metrics. Correct. So I've got one of those instances, Tommy, and I've done everything that I can, but I cannot get a hold of the seller. I mean, the listing of the buyer. So it's been a pain in the ass. So I'm actually thinking of, instead of taking the cancellation thing, I'm curious what happens if I send them the wrong thing. Not the wrong thing, but they ordered 4 different things, 3 of the right thing and 1 extra, and see what happens. I don't know. I think it's worth just take a chance on it. Or what I could do, which is really to like not risk my metrics. I was speaking about this with Daniel Sosa, is I could just send her 4 times, right? Send her the wrong thing, but it's the exact same thing. So it's kind of like the Folgers. Of course, I will let you guys know. So it's the Folgers thing, right? I told you there's 4 flavors she ordered. I'm thinking of sending her only 2 flavors, but double. And then if she complains, just instantly refunding her. Like, I don't even give a shit. But I feel that like $30 is worth, or no, I'd be paying $20 is worth keeping that without bothering my metrics. So I'm fine with throwing in $20 if it's not going to affect me. So I will let you guys know how it works. I'm just curious from my perspective, like if I sit and do nothing and wait till Amazon cancels it, it's worse than if I send the wrong thing and then refund her and put it as a general adjustment, because then it looks like I just gave her money back. So if she complains to Amazon, she can't complain. I already refunded her. So awesome. I will let you guys know what happens with that. But anyways, other than that, I will see you guys next Monday, and I will show if I get enough emails to respond. If you guys want to see some of my systems, I will show those live. Exactly, Big Daddy. You see what I'm saying now? Like, it's just part of paying for the process, right? So I'm willing to pay a little bit of extra money And that's fine. It's the learning process. It's like my college tuition. Terry says, I have two problems with my first two orders. My first order will be late, and my second order was delivered today and ordered Saturday and didn't get a tracking number. So no, if you don't, so you should, did you order it through Walmart? Thank you, one dude. I love you guys too. So if you order through Walmart or anywhere, you can manually input the tracking number. That's what I had to do in my first few orders. You can go into Amazon and do that because I told you mine is not working. Mine is not actually automatically shipping it. I got to double check to see if my password is right. This will be like the second time that this happens, but I'm waiting to get another order. Yeah, so grab the tracking number and copy and paste it manually inside of Amazon. You can do that. So awesome. All right. Well, I will see you guys on Monday again. I'll send out the link just as I did before, and we will have a screen share and we'll go over some systems as well as some more listing tricks. I will give you guys an update where my VAs are at. They have not started. Hopefully they'll be starting by Friday or Thursday. That's all right, Terry. Even if it was already delivered, still put the tracking number. It should still allow you to have so many days after the tracking. You're welcome, Sylvia. Awesome, guys and gals. I will see you next week. And get out there and just list some stuff. Hell yes, so realization, 10K listings by fourth quarter. Let's do it, buddy. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.